Hello viewers, this is another episode from Home Builders Initiative. I remain the convener, Princess Sandra Emeka Ezewande. Today we're going to be talking about intertribal marriage. Intertribal marriage, you heard me very well. It's been an issue in our society where somebody has to leave, everything about her culture, the language she speaks, and the food she's used to, everything that she's used to within her own comfort of the ethnicity, and she moves to another one. I mean, you can't imagine it. So we're looking at it totally wholesomely today, and we have somebody that has gone through it with a success story for 40-something years. So we're going to be looking at it, and let's learn from her story. What are the challenges, how she overcame the challenges. Probably it might be helping somebody tomorrow. But before we bring her on set, we're going to go on a quick short break to be back. Thank you. Yeah, we're back from our break, and I have with me a very wonderful super mom. Like I said, we're going to do justice to this topic, and I'm doing that with Mommy Elizabeth Ebogo. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a grandmother, she's a marriage counselor, and there's something we have in common. She's a home builder, and I'm sure today's topic is going to be a very interesting one, having such a personality on our hot seat. Mommy, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
I mean, I met you. I mean, our meeting was just like I say, it's destined by God, because ordinarily I shouldn't have met you. But my meeting with you, the very first moment we met, we connected.
Yes.
And we started gisting, and I was only supposed to say hi and go. And I found out that we had to talk for like almost 45 minutes. After having that discussion with you, I told myself, no, I need her on this set so that you can share your story. I appreciate the fact that I met you and told you I wanted you here. And you obliged me there. Thank you so much, Mommy.
Thanks so very much.
Happy to have you here. Happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here too.
Woo! Mommy, from your story that we shared together, you were saying something about, you told me that you're from Ibibio, right? Akwa Ibom.
Yes, Akwa Ibom.
And you got married to someone, daddy from Abia State.
Yes.
It wasn't an easy journey.
No, it
from
wasn't.
Your story.
It wasn't.
Okay, so that's why we are here today, because I want to actually have you say all that you said to me when we were discussing, behind the cameras, so that somebody out there will be inspired by your story. Coming from Ibibio in Akwa Ibom all the way to Abia State, I don't know, what was the journey like? Because I can see these are two different cultures coming together. What was it like? Let's hear you out. Maybe just tell us a little about your story. Yes.
Thank God. It wasn't funny, but it was just two people in love, oblivion of the tribal sentiments and differences at first.
Okay.
We're just lost in love.
Whoa.
And that's what was the motivating factor. He was interested in my future. He saw some potentials in me, and unfortunately my own family couldn't afford to buy me the education I needed.
Whoa.
And he on his own side would trek to school and save up his transport fare to help me go back to school.
Oh.
For such a man, I was all head out for him. And the next thing was that, well, I know I'm going to face challenges from my people, but religiously you are not a Catholic except you become a Catholic.
Yes.
So, well, I would do anything for somebody who wants my future bright.
Exactly.
So before you say Jack Robinson, I was already a Catholic.
Whoa.
Doing all the what was it called now? I did all the tests to be baptized, and the Elizabeth Abia today he gave me is my baptismal name from my husband. Before you know it, I was confirmed And
went for the first Holy Communion.
Yes, and
confirmation.
I did all that.
Whoa.
Because, and he was just there pushing me, encouraging me, correcting my tenses, doing all of that. And we're planning to marry. My people didn't want it because it was just immediately after the war. And there was so much animosity between the two tribes. And I was like, well, he didn't cause the war.
Yeah.
Why should you take it on him? We are in love. And it was like, you must be crazy. Do you know whether they get mad easily in their family? I said, but he is not mad. Do you know whether they steal? I said, well, he's not a thief.
Exactly.
And it was like, this girl is not serious. And you know, I was deported from Lagos where we lived, home severally, and I ran back because of love. And you know, mine was so crazy that we had to get to the registry without their consent.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's crazy, really.
It was really crazy.
Whoa. Whoa.
And we felt we were two adults. I was on my 23rd.
Yeah, I was going to ask how old were you then?
Yes, and it was the year he would turn 26.
Okay.
So just 3 years difference, and the other hand, he had also pressure on him. He had other people to train.
Yeah.
Why rush into marriage? And in those days, Igbo men don't get married easily.
Mm-hmm.
So
you need to take care of some things.
yes, you need to take, you know. But unfortunately, I had an accident when I just had my first baby. My first baby was just 3 months old, and it was this fatal. The accident was actually fatal. I was in the hospital for 5 years. 5 years. 1976 to 1981. 5 years.
Oh.
And my baby was just 3 months. You know, that was where the battleground really started. My mother came for the baby, said, you can't have him. His mother came, you can't have him. You don't support it. Why should you? This is the only thing linking us. You won't take the baby. And so he was doing his professional exams. He would go to the daycare, pick up the baby. It wasn't mobile as in car.
Yes.
All he had was a scooter.
Yeah.
He would put the baby on his shoulder with a paper bag full of the baby's things to see me every day in the hospital until the baby started school. You know, it was challenging.
I know, I can imagine.
It was challenging. And when we left, when I left the hospital and came back home and wanted to go and pay my bride price, of course, my people gave him a run for his money, and they made it so difficult
for him to be able to meet up and
but
do
I
that.
had a wonderful father-in-law who was so detribalized. He was a wonderful man. He believed in love. He believed for us to still be this glued together
after many years.
All this.
Yes, after all this.
So he supported us. But women being what we are, my mother-in-law wasn't taking it funny, you know. I had to. My people told me all manner of stories about the Igbos, how that if my father-in-law was going to be buried, if he's not dead yet, they will bury me alive with him. Tell me all manner of
just to scare you,
just
I guess.
to scare me. It's just to scare me, and I wasn't bothered. I said, where will my husband be when they are burying me alive? He said they will bring a virgin
for him
and
exchange.
exchange me. But that didn't stop me.
Oh my God! But just a quick one. 5 years in the hospital.
Yes.
Did the two families like come around to support? Like, because what you're trying to say, they literally like pushed you away. Okay, fine. You've taken this man over us. Go ahead and do that. Was there that? Were we having that visitation, coming around, checking up on you, making sure that you guys were doing very well?
No.
Or was it just they were focusing on picking the child and walking away?
No. The only person that was with us all through was my husband's elder brother.
Okay.
He also married from Ondo State.
Okay, so
he understands what it is to marry who you love.
Okay.
In fact, he was instrumental instrumentation to our going to registry.
Oh, he gave people the backing.
Yes, he was our sponsor. He was our witness with the wife.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so the family did not everybody rejected the baptism. There was a little support from somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, that kept you guys going.
Yes, it kept us going. Even he rented an apartment, a room and a parlor, and paid for a year for us.
Oh.
We were not rich enough to marry and to get a home. He did that for us. Oh. And while I was in the hospital, all I needed, including an instrument for my leg, he imported it. Oh. He was there for us. Oh, he was there.
That's a nice one.
He was there, and he's still there till today.
Oh, that's a nice one.
He has been there. So he understood. My father-in-law also supported, and it wasn't easy. I remember coming home for the first time after our traditional marriage, and at Wumaburi Market, a woman just said to my mother-in-law, "Chinyere, is this your son's wife?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Which of them?" And she spoke something like, "Onke Yoruba ko onke Ibibi." He said, "No,
discrimination in the making and all that."
He said, "It's the Ibibi one," and she placed her finger on my nose and said, "You people don't stay in husbands' houses. Will you stay?"
The woman or the mother-in-law?
It wasn't in fact, my mother-in-law was embarrassed.
I know.
And just smiled and said, "She will stay."
Aww.
She will stay. She's even gotten us his son. She will stay. I had to learn the language. I had to.
I'm getting to that one because it is a very interesting question for me.
Yes.
Like before we get to that language thing,
yes,
we'll go on a very short break.
Okay.
I'm sure my viewers want to know how you were able to handle that aspect. So we're going on a short break. We're coming back. Once we come back, she's going to tell us about the language thing. Thank you.
Welcome to Doubt Your Faith.
Yeah, we are back from our break, and I'm sure you are enjoying Mommy Elizabeth here. I mean, her story is a very touching one. Now, Mommy, I just want to quickly, go into the language aspect because these are two different languages. Like you just pointed out, that one a lady was talking to your mother-in-law, obviously in Igbo language, and you were guessing what she was saying, and all of a sudden she's poking you on your nose, asking you a question. How were you able to manage it all? How did you go through it? And I don't know, I'm just imagining finding myself where I don't understand what they're saying. And in that village setting, nobody is about going to speak English around. It has to be just the language. So how were you coping? How were you managing it? How did you go through it? How did you come out of it?
Well, when she poked my nose, tears just came down because this was contrary to my own culture. Our people welcome strangers, as they call them, when you are not from the tribe. In fact, they celebrate you. You are celebrated. You can do all other things and get away with it. I was just weeping from the inside, but the tears were just rolling. And I now made up my mind. I need to hear this language. I need to hear.
Okay, at that point, you just told yourself, I just need
to hear this language, And the first thing I did was to join the town's meeting, the Ibegu Ekwasa meeting. And it's usually with the dialects.
Of course.
It's not even the general Igbo, it's the dialect. And
in the village or
no,
where you
in
were?
Lagos.
Okay, you
In
went to
Lagos,
look
in
for them
Lagos,
and join
yes,
them.
Yes. My senior wife, that's my husband's elder brother's wife.
Yeah.
That was from Ondo State.
Yes.
She was the secretary. She would take all the meetings, and when she's reading it out, she's reading it in Igbo.
Oh,
Say, if this woman
can do it, then I can.
And then I also joined, start learning, start making friends with the Igbo ladies.
Okay.
And I start learning, I start picking it, and before you know it, I'm graced to just quickly pick things. Before you know it, I was understanding what they are saying and equally saying it with them. I will repeat after people and ask, what am I saying? Am I saying it correctly?
Oh, are you serious?
Because the dialect is not actually like the general Igbo.
Yes.
Okay. For instance, if you are calling children, you don't say umaka.
Yeah.
It's omirimo.
Oh, so it's a different thing.
Omirimo rere. And go into that and it's
so it was more difficult, that's what you're trying to say, right?
no, to me it wasn't, because I was determined.
Yeah.
I wanted to, and it was just fun. And before you know it, I could pick.
For how long did you do this? Like, how long did it take you?
I wouldn't know now.
Okay, of course, years.
Years, because each time the children go on long break, long vacation, we go home, we visit home.
Okay.
We'll be home around that time. We'll pick what we will pick. Nobody imposed it on me that I must learn. For instance, my children don't speak.
Yeah.
They don't speak. I speak.
Okay.
Because I was determined to. My father-in-law is very Polish. He has lived his life with the whites. He fought the Second World War, Burma. So he's too English. He didn't impose it.
Okay, so
He
but you
speaks
just
English.
felt it
I
wasn't
just
necessary.
felt.
And now I'm talking about your children now, because I was going to ask you, when you have two languages in the marriage,
Yes.
two different cultures in a marriage,
Yes.
the children growing up out of that marriage, which one do they tend to, get to learn? Like you just said, your children don't speak Igbo.
Yes.
Do they speak Ibibio?
They don't.
So they don't even have either of the two.
No.
Ah.
The only one that speaks the Igbo is my first son, and that's because he went to school in Abakaliki.
Okay.
He learns from school, secondary school in Abakaliki.
Okay. So what's the basic language the children?
English.
Aside English, like a native language that they need to
A
have.
native language, like my first son alone picked the Yoruba language.
Okay.
Yes.
Whoa. So they are either here or here. They are not in any of the
No,
two.
we were trying.
Was
to
it a decision you people decided to?
We were trying to let them speak any of the dialects, but it became confusing to them because I had my own younger ones living with us after we've done the dowry, after we've gone to church and all of that, and his own sibling also living with us. So the children were confused when they, especially Miss Uche, when she gets to school, they say,
okay, she's mixing the
She
two
will
together.
mix English, she will mix a little bit of this.
She will mix
and
Yoruba and Igbo.
the teacher sent for me in school, said, we are confusing these children. What's going on? And I told her, said, please, they will learn which one they want to learn. Please, help us stay with English.
Oh.
So we had to stay with English, and to me it was good because when I'm speaking my dialects, where my husband's people are there that they don't
understand, it's going to be an issue.
Is going to be an issue. So
Yes.
speaking English, everybody is free. Everybody doesn't suspect maybe they're talking about me and all of
But
that.
like this now, it now brings me back to another question I'm going to ask you, because I wanted to ask, does this intertribal marriage have any adverse effect on the children that comes out of such home? Like in my own house now, I'll just use my house as an example to you. I'm Igbo, and my husband is Igbo, obviously. Igbo is the second language, like is the main language you're supposed to have. So he gets like he gets worried that okay, the children are not speaking Igbo very well. Do you understand? And they understand Igbo very well, but communicating with you directly like full Igbo is a problem. So he's feeling that we're losing the language. Like these children ought to speak Igbo. They ought to have a place, like a language that they can say, this is where I come from, this is my identity. You understand? And I'm trying everything possible to make sure they learn properly and be able to speak properly. So in this case, going by what he's saying, that Igbo is their identity. In this case, where we have intertribal marriage and they don't have either of the mother or of the father, do you agree with what he's saying, that there's misplaced of identity here? Like, is it having an adverse effect on them that they cannot say, okay, I'm neither Igbo or Ibibio because I can't even speak any of it? What do you think?
Well, I don't think so.
Okay.
The reason why I don't think so is that speaking a language does not make you part of that system.
Okay.
That's not who you are. If you understand who you are, even when you don't speak, I'm not saying you shouldn't speak.
Okay.
Even when you don't speak, you know who you are, you know your values, and you live out those values, right? Like my two boys, they're all married to Igbo ladies, right? And the Igbo ladies equally, well, don't speak
the Igbo
language. The first one was born in Kaduna, and the other one, the wife, was born in Lagos. The day we were going to do her dowry in Imo State, she misled us. We missed the road. They said, hey, when they brought me here, the road was not this. So, but that doesn't stop the fact that she's Igbo.
Okay.
She knows she's Igbo.
Okay, but I'm looking at when you come to a circle where the Igbo people are, you're going to be feeling like a stranger, like if they're speaking Igbo. Like from your story, you said when you got there, because they were saying things that you did not understand, you determined yourself and say, I want to learn this language.
Because I was being threatened and being...
exactly. Okay, exactly. And now, if you get to find yourself, I'm talking about the children that are raised from such that do not have the language now, and they find themselves in a circle where it is all, for instance, Igbo, Ibibio, or whatever the language is, which you're supposed to understand, and you don't understand. You're just sitting in their midst. You know who you are, you know you're Igbo, but you don't understand, and they're not about changing the language they are speaking. They are having a very good conversation, but you are in their midst. Don't you think that person is going to be lost? Like, I feel that there must be that gap. You understand? So I don't know if it's really a good one.
See, I see it's better these days than in our days.
Okay.
Because you don't even have to be from any tribe to learn that language. You can now do them online.
Learn the language, right?
Yes, they can learn it.
Okay.
You learn it.
Just like you did.
Yes, just like I did. It's even easier. It's now the world is a global village. You can learn. I see Nigerians who are married to the whites, and then they send their children to University of Ibadan, for example, to come and learn the language and all of that. They can pick it up. The identity is, we should tell them where they come from.
Okay.
And by their names, they know where they come from.
Exactly. I was going to go to the names now. Yes. In giving that name now, like you, I mean, I told you, there was something I said from the beginning, Ogenemine and Chioma, right? Yeah. Chioma knows from her name, like if she says it anywhere, somebody will believe she's an Igbo girl, right? Yeah. But she's from Urubu. You understand? So when you talk about identity now, for Chioma now, she's from Urubu, her dad is from Urubu, and her mom is Igbo. So that's how she got Chioma. Her elder sister is Ogenemine. Okay. She's from Urubu. She has the Igbo blood, obviously. So from the name now, will Ogenemine connect herself to Urubu? Why Chioma connects herself to the Igbo speaking part of the world? I don't know. So because I think it's getting so confusing. Like for my sister's own, it was a bit confusing for myself. I had to ask her questions, and she said that's the way she wants it. So she has 4 kids, 2 are answering the Yoruba name, and the other 2, okay, 2 Urobo, 1 Igbo, then the other one, the Englishman, is answering an English name. So, like, I don't know. Help me out.
Well, like I said, my father-in-law is a very, 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 very prim and proper man. He will not impose anything.
Yeah.
But I just decided that the children should have the identity of where they came from. My first son is Chidebere, but they all have Calabar names.
Okay, but it's
that
silent.
I call it very, very silent.
Very silent. So, okay,
Very
the Igbo
silent.
one is very
Yes,
pronouncing.
yes.
So you made it, in a sequence so that it should just be all Igbo names.
Yes.
So I think
It's
this
all
one is
Igbo
this
names.
one is a lot more easier. Not having two different, like siblings having two different names. I think it's going to be a little bit confusing.
It's confusing.
It's very, very confusing.
To me, I see that as identity crisis.
Yeah,
There
I
was
think.
some identity crisis.
Yeah, I want to agree with you because I told her, I said, if 2 of them go somewhere, that thing is already bringing questions. So the children have to be answering questions from time to time. So from all that we are talking about now, we're still talking about intertribal marriage,
Yes.
the challenges, what is obtainable out of it. I think a personal decision works more in intertribal marriage. Like you have to determine, you have to plan, you have to say, okay, this is what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Because from your story, that's what you're trying to tell us.
Yes.
Because we
You
want
have to make it work.
Okay.
You've come to stay. You've come to make the people your people. So there's no struggle of, oh, they must be my people or they must identify with me or I must. It's you who has left somewhere to come. You've taken up their name. For instance, in my place, we don't eat what they call achara. It's goats that eat achara. Elephant grass. But it's a vegetable. It's a delicacy.
In your husband's place?
Yes.
I was going to go to the food.
Then I cooked such things because that's what my husband grew up knowing. You know?
Do you eat it?
Of course.
Yeah, because I was going to go to the food. There are 2 different things, like you said. What goat eats in Ibibio, in your place, in Akwa Ibom? It's a delicacy.
In Umuahia.
In Umuahia. You understand? So, okay, you decided, okay, fine, I'm going to let go my food.
No, I won't let go.
Okay, you did not
We
let
married them, yes.
You brought part of
Can you
this.
let go Ibibio food?
I don't know.
You can't. You have to add.
Okay.
You know, if in the whole nation called Nigeria, you can't play with Calabar food.
Whoa, your cuisine is something else.
It's something else. So, the Umuahia just have what you call the uboro. There's a food they call uboro soup.
Okay.
And this achara soup. Period. Okay. So I will let go all those.
So it was more advantage,
just
so,
addition.
Yes. It was to their advantage because you had to bring more.
Yes.
So they have more on the table now.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. But how like this native soup you're talking about?
Yes.
Obviously, you had to learn how to cook it.
Of course.
Do you make it as good as they do it
Of
naturally?
course.
Because a lot of men complain that you don't make my soup the way our native soup, the way my mom would do it, or the way my sister would do it. Do you understand? As part, this is something they've been used to.
Yeah.
So you have to learn it properly, like do it very well.
Yes.
But being the Calabar woman, you should be able to do it more, even better than you guys have this talent with food.
Yes, I do it. I got it from my mother-in-law. In fact, we later became 2 strong teammates.
Your mother-in-law?
Of course. Just as I wanted to learn the language, I did all within my power to become her daughter.
I'm sure it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy, but I saw that she was just being a mother.
Okay.
She wasn't sure whether I was going to do her son well. She wasn't sure whether all the stories she's hearing is real or not. Then I have to prove it.
How long did it take for her to accept you?
Almost 15 years.
Whoa.
Almost 15 years.
years.
Yes. Almost 15 years.
But were you going to the village? Like, were you seeing her from time to time?
Let me just say 10 years because the 5 years I was in the hospital.
Okay, so
Yes.
10 years you were
Yes.
going there, and she
Yes.
never wanted to like accept you.
Not that she would say don't enter here or whatever.
Okay.
But I know we were not friends.
Okay.
And I wanted more. I don't want to be an in-law to anybody.
When you say you were not friends, like what? Like
What I mean is, I can't freely say, Mommy, I will put on this your dress.
okay.
Like a mother, what you do to a
your
mother.
mother, yeah.
Not official, oh, my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
No. And you mind your space.
Okay.
No. I didn't just want that. I wanted a family. I've left all. I wanted a
Yeah,
family.
and in your story, you said your family, like at some point,
Yes.
rejected you and
Yeah,
said,
of
okay,
course.
go.
Yes. Since that's where you want to go. Should I be a stranger in that place? No. And it's all left for me to make that place a home.
So it means that you just told yourself it must work.
It must work.
The determination,
You must accept me.
everything, even when the rejection was glaring, you said no,
No,
and it must
I didn't
work.
take no for an answer.
Yeah, I hope our viewers are picking something from this, because a lot of people are in marriages, intertribal marriage, and they are complaining, like they're seeing all manner of challenges. A lot of them are walking out of it, saying, I can't deal with it again. I'm done. I'm so done here. They don't want me. They don't want me. So from your story, you're telling us that yes, they don't want me, but I want you.
Of course.
Because for you to leave your place and come here, it means you want them. There was that initial want.
Yes.
I want to be here. I want to be part of these people. So that want kept you. Because you
kept
wanted
me.
to belong
It
here.
kept me.
It kept you.
It kept
You
me.
are like, for how long? How many years have you been in this marriage, Mom?
Almost 44 years now.
Whoa, 44 years.
Almost.
That's a very long time. So there is hope for you that is listening to us. There is hope. Like it can be better because she was there from the beginning. It was as if it was not gonna hold. It was like as if it was not gonna stay.
Yeah.
But she's here telling us that she's still in the marriage. I mean,
Still
44
counting.
and still counting. I love that. I was going to say that. And still counting, because daddy is bubbling, mommy is bubbling, everybody is still moving. So, I mean, you can still be there. It's just for you to make up your mind and say, this is what I want, and I must work towards it. Mommy, it was a very wonderful time with you.
Thank you.
I love the section with you. I believe that somebody is being inspired by your story. I mean, you've told us how determined you were, and you've told us what kept you. You've told us that love was in the initial push.
It's
You understand?
love.
So, but what about people that, like, sometimes they say troubles can make you fall out of love.
No. Then it wasn't love, it was lost.
So it wasn't love from the beginning,
wasn't.
because love will always stay
The
there.
Bible says that love endureth all things,
Yeah.
believes all things. That's 1 Corinthians 13.
Okay?
If you see the attributes of love,
You will know that.
that's God, the nature of God. While
Yeah.
we were yet sinners,
Yes.
Christ came. God became man, and we rejected him, and still is he loved.
So for
Love.
whatever it is,
Love.
the love
It
is
is
still
love.
the love will still pull you
Yes.
through. Very important. So I mean, it's a wonderful one having you here. Just last thing that you're gonna say to the viewer, assuming there's somebody that is going through what you went through, what's your advice to the person? Intertribal marriage with all the challenges, the culture, the food, the acceptance, the rejection, everything that comes with it. What's your advice to somebody that is going through that?
Thank you. Now I know better. I won't use the arm of flesh to want to draw attention or acceptance.
Okay. When you say I'm of flesh, sorry.
When I say arm of flesh, you look for what that person loves or likes and want to use it as a bait to get his or her attention, to win him or her to your side. It's arm of flesh.
Okay.
It's like every bait, you can just chew the bait and still not get hooked.
Yeah. So what would you like?
What I will advise is believe what the word of God has said. For a woman like Ruth in the Bible, she determined He said, I will go where you go. Your people will be my people.
Yeah.
Your God will be my God. That was her push. Love. Understanding the viewpoints of marriage on God's angle.
Yeah.
Will be quicker, and it will melt the hearts of the people. Because the Bible says, if your ways are right with God,
Yeah.
He will make even your enemies to be at peace with
you. Exactly.
So I will advise that when you are not just marrying that man, you are marrying his people.
The entire people.
The entire people, his culture, his food,
Everything.
his deficiency, his whatever, his stigma, if there's anything.
Yeah.
You are marrying him. His totality, you don't select. That's who you are going for. And when you have convinced yourself that that's what you are going for,
Yeah.
the Lord will help you and pull you.
So it means that if you're listening to us and you are about to get into intertribal marriage, assuming your spouse is not from where you are, I mean, from what mommy is saying, you need to just prep your mind. You need to ask yourself, am I going to go through this? Accepting everything. The one that struck me more is the stigma, the one you mentioned now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to accept everything about the person. Everything. That they are this, they are that. You have to prep yourself and say, I am accepting it.
Yes.
Only that can prepare you for whatever you see along the journey, because it's not easy. To be honest, it's not. Even when you marry from your village self, it's not still easy. Not to talk of crossing rivers, going so far, miles away, to where you do not know anything except what they must have told you that the place has or something. So you're just going to a strange place. I call it a strange place. You went to a strange place. I know me as an Igbo, they say the Umuaya people, is it the Abriba or something, they eat people, they do this. Being an Igbo person, I still have that. So not to talk of somebody that is coming from far away, you understand? So I think what you've said it all. You have to prep yourself.
Yes.
It's a bigger thing. It's not just ordinary.
Yeah.
You have to prep yourself in whatever way you can prep yourself, so that when you start on this journey, you will not think of looking back.
Yes.
You'll just be focused.
Yes.
Thank you, Mommy, for having
Thanks so
me. The advice you've given to our viewers, I'm sure it's going to go a long way to whoever that comes across it. It's just for you to understand that there is hope. Whatever it is you think you're going through in your intertribal marriage or your marriage, generally, there is hope. If Mommy could make it, and she's 44 years in it, and still counting, then you can make it. Yes. Mommy, thank you so much. I want to appreciate you. We'll go on a quick break, and by the time we'll come back, we're going to be presenting Mommy with our little gift, which is our usual in this program. Thank you, and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Welcome to Doubt Your Faith.
Yeah, we are back, and I'm sure you enjoyed today's program. Mommy was just very fantastic. Her story is quite touching. I think I want to have her again on this program. Mommy, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I'm sure our viewers are very chilled with your stories, and I'm sure they're very inspired. I'm sure your story is going to encourage somebody out there tomorrow. Mommy, we have a tradition here, and that tradition is this. We have this little pillow from Home Builders Initiative. It goes a long way to tell you you're a home builder and that you have been on this show. So this pillow, you're going to place it somewhere that you're going to keep seeing it like every day, so that it keeps reminding you you're a home builder, and it is your duty to continue to preach peace in the homes. Yes, so from us in Home Builders Initiative, we say please accept this little token from us. Thank you for coming around.
May the anointing over your head never abate in Jesus' name.
Amen.
May your oil not dry.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mommy. Thank you. Yes, we've come to the end of this show. I'm sure you're thrilled by Mommy's story. For me, I am like 44 years and counting in a strange land where she has decided to make her home. I think the story is quite inspiring. Whatever you're going through, if Mommy can make it, then you can make it. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Don't forget to share with your friends. Go to our Facebook and like us. Follow us on Instagram, and then sign up to our YouTube channel, Home Builders TV. It's bye from Home Builders TV. Ciao, ciao.